Nut Nerd Podcast, episode 335, Hardcore Parkour.
Welcome to the Nut Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Hello to you from the other side of town, my friend.
Yes, I'm back in the state of Oregon to some lovely spring weather after the heat of Southern California.
Isn't that interesting? You go down to Southern California for a trip and it's like 75 degrees, and then you come home and it's like 30 degrees.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, and more importantly, our listeners love hearing what the local weather is doing.
They ought to.
Yes, they should. Well, they also love listening to some technology talk, so we'll get into some follow-up. I just received this morning, I believe 2 weeks later, my link from Amazon to download my Amazon data that we talked about 2 weeks ago on the podcast.
And I saw your link and I was like, wait, I never got the email. So I'm looking here real quick. What was like the title or what do I
think
look
it's
through?
Something about Amazon data download. Now, the interesting thing is you click the link and it says like you have 90 days to download this. There are, because I downloaded all the files for our dear listeners, there are, where did it go? Hold.
Mine did come, by the way. It came on the 7th, but I have yet to read that email.
Yes. So when you click on the link, you will find that there are 136 items individually for you to download.
Individually? They don't just batch?
Nope, there's no download all. I did that earlier today. I have not gone through and looked. Let's find the smallest one is my home services home innovation technology.discover.1.zip. So I'll unzip that.
That is user hostile.
And then it gives me a CSV file in the zip file that is 47 bytes in size.
I see why they had to do it individually with a size like that.
Yes, and on the mylikes.csv, I have one like, and it gives me a ASIN number, which is a Amazon part number. It's not real intuitive. Now, I'm sure some of the files are a little more helpful. So this one was the Seiko LED desktop lamp with large LED panel, which was a replacement for my previous pick of the week, the Aki desk lamp that I use to light myself nicely when I'm on video calls. But yeah, 136 different files that you have to go through to find out which information you actually want. So
the first one I did was 3PA PPUSA GE data setting _
Oh yeah, I've got that one too. 11 kilobytes for me.
All it does is have a bunch of dates, a DSN number, which is like a serial number of some sort, a session ID, which is like a serial number, a metric name, which is all exactly the same thing, the country, software version, and that's it. Like there's
zero help. Zero help
legend at all to show you what those numbers mean.
Yeah. So I'm sure some of them are a little bit more helpful, but quite a tedious process to get this all taken care of, to say the least.
So someone out there probably has a tool that you can import this into to look at it and
create some sort of nice spreadsheet or something out of this.
Something, who knows? But,
well,
at least it's there. So
yes. Well, this next story, Spotify becomes first music service to launch on Roblox.
So is Roblox becoming Second Life, which is the metaverse before Facebook gets to the metaverse?
They seem to be going very metaverse with some of their things, and so Spotify's launched their Spotify Island. It's their first music streaming brand to have an official presence within Roblox with the launch of Spotify Island, a place where artists and fans will gather to play interactive quests, unlock exclusive content, and buy artist merchandise.
Oh, there's There's a purchase element? Who would have thought?
Yes, yes. So Spotify's vision for the island is to turn Roblox players into creators themselves. Yeah, we're going to see a little this type of stuff, and we've got another thing, couple items down, of everybody's trying to get in, and it's very much like Second Life. If you don't remember, that was a game where you could create a avatar and you run around the world, and there was all these different stores and everything that you
could
can
make
visit.
a house. You could fly from place to place.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried it a little bit, and I just could not see it. Now, that was several years ago, so technology has gotten a lot better.
That was like a decade ago, my friend.
Oh my goodness. Impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about this stuff. But Roblox, my daughter and I play a lot of Roblox. She gets on FaceTime, plays with one of her friends. I don't think I made it a pick of the week yet. I should soon. But yeah, they're kind of doing I would say Roblox is like the low grade version of getting into these virtual worlds, whereas the metaverse and the New World Horizon.
Oh yeah, it's
Horizon Worlds.
Horizon
from
Worlds.
Meta, Facebook with the AR.
Yeah.
Or VR, you put on your glasses and you're immersive. Roblox is a little more passive, but
and some real time follow up. I did do the Horizons World the other.
Oh
day.
yeah.
So I went into this one place. There's this one game where it's like a shooting game, which is kind of fun. I played it before. There's another one though. It was like a store. It was very interesting. I arrive in this store, and it looked like they were selling elixirs of some sort. And a lady came up to me and said, "Oh, hi, username. I'm so-and-so, and this is an actual real store that you can do commerce in. So go stand on the circles to learn more about the products, and if you're interested, let me know." So it was just like walking into a real store.
Yeah, and I will jump to that other one that I mentioned. I got an email from one of my clients, and she does food and beverage forecasting. It's this crazy industry that she's in where she helps, major food brands with forecasting on what's going on. And she sent me an email a while back and said, "I came across this story. Can you explain what the heck it means?" And so I clicked the link, and it goes to hospitalitytech.com, which is one of the sites she follows. And the headline is, "Quiznos Taco Del Mar franchises join the metaverse." So the Rego Restaurant Group and the NFT agency will drop digital master franchises in one of crypto's largest virtual worlds. So she had no clue what this meant, and obviously I had some clue, so I tried to explain it in the most not nerd way possible. But basically, they are allowing the restaurant group that owns Quiznos and Taco Del Mar is allowing people to buy franchises in the metaverse so that you could have the legal right to open a Quiznos or Taco Del Mar in the metaverse. Because when you're wearing your VR goggles, you need a sandwich, a hot sandwich, or a quesadilla from a restaurant.
Well, maybe you can go into the restaurant, order the food, and have it delivered via Amazon flight drones or something.
I think it is all virtual, my friend.
Okay.
But yes, I did see that. Yes, I did see that Wendy's has opened its first VR restaurant. So a little PDX fast foodie piqued my interest on this. White Castle celebrated its 100th birthday with a series of 5,000 NFTs by the digital media artist Che-Yu Wu. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this can actually gain traction, whereas Second Life, it was a fad for a while, and then I'm sure everybody just lost all their money.
Yeah. Let's just say we're taking this one slow.
Yes. Yes, I'm not jumping head into actually, you know what I need to do is some PDX fast foodie videos, which sorry for my foodie fans. I have been slacking on my videos over the last very long time. Maybe I should borrow your Quest goggles,
Sure.
go in and see if I can get some Taco Del Mar in the metaverse.
Please tell me what it tastes like in the metaverse.
Yes, I will definitely do that. And back to Spotify, you found this story from iMore. Spotify Stations is shutting down. Now, I have no idea what Spotify Stations are.
They had a few different apps. They had like Spotify Kids, they had Spotify Stations, and then the Spotify app. The Stations was an app that you could go, I think they might have a free version, but this is when I had a subscription. You go in there and you can listen to 80s music or pop music or whatever. It was like curated playlists that acted like a radio station. But apparently nobody used it because they're shutting her down and they're removing the app from the app store at some point.
Well, and why wouldn't this even need to be a separate app?
I think maybe just for simplicity, for the people who want to, it's a more Pandora-like experience.
Yes.
Where you don't have a lot of choice, you just click the thing and go. So maybe if you have a secondary device that's just your music player, you could put that app on there. Now, I mean, I tried it, never ever used it regularly. So that's probably what a lot of other people did. But it's kind of like the throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And that definitely did not stick.
Yes, yes. Well, in this weekend text message with our friends talking about tech, I got a text message from a friend of the show, Jared. And he, after listening to last week's episode, he said, I'd be interested in hearing of your Apple device charging setup for when you recently traveled on vacation. What do you take and for what products?
You took the guinea pigs and they were on a wheel and they would run?
Yes, exactly. It worked great, especially on the airplane. He said, I'm in the hunt for the simplest charging setup for iPhone, AirPods, and watch, considering a MagSafe Duo type layout. And I said, my setup isn't simple, but it would be good to discuss this. So basically what I did, and I end up taking way too much gear because that's what I do. I gear up. But I have next to my recliner in the living room a off-brand 6-port USB charger that plugs into an outlet and then has 6 USB type A connectors with a bunch of cables. I've got Apple Watch, couple Lightning, a USB-C, and a USB micro on it, and I just unplugged that and threw it into my bag, which is not very streamlined.
Yeah.
Now, on my trip, I always think, I'll be using all my devices every day and I'll have to charge them all up every night. Well, it was pretty much my iPhone and my Apple Watch. So something like the MagSafe Duo, which is not cheap, and as far as I know, does not have the greatest reviews. Have you heard any differently? Now, the MagSafe Duo is made by Apple. It's a little folding thing that you unfold it, and it's got MagSafe on one side, Apple Watch on the other side.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do you one better because I was actually doing some research on this today, completely separate from Jared's question.
Wow.
And I came across, I put a link right under the point in the show notes.
Yeah.
And I found the Anker 3-in-1 wireless charging station, and there are a couple of these, but the one that caught my eye was $39.99, $40. And what this is a rectangle with a little wedge that pops up. You put your phone on the wedge that pops up and it will wirelessly charge it. Behind the wedge is another charging puck that's on the surface that you would put like your AirPods there. And then on a separate rectangular piece that's hinged out to the side is a ring that you put your watch charging adapter into.
Oh, yeah,
and this is something I was looking for my bedside that I can also take with me while I travel. And the wedge flops down, the watch mechanism area folds down, and then the whole side folds under so that you've got this nice rectangular stack about the size of a thick charging battery that you can take with you in your bag and just plug one cable in. Possibly 2 cables because you bring your own watch charger.
Yeah.
But it also comes with an Anker power brick. So Anker 3-in-1 wireless charging station. And when you go on Amazon to look for this product, below it'll say there's a newer item, or here, consider this item. They have the Anker foldable 3-in-1, the Anker wireless charging station for Apple products, and then the one I mentioned. And they're all slightly different from one another. It's kind of like an older versus the newer. The charging pad is on the side on one of them, and the watch thing is in the back or whatever. So look no farther than Anker. They've got at least 3 separate options ranging from $40 to like $60.
Yeah, and looking at the MagSafe Duo, the Apple one, $129.
Yeah.
Now, it does have the official MagSafe and the official Apple Watch charger built into it, but $129, you can go a lot better looking at Amazon and looking at Anker. So good call on that.
Yeah, no, I just saw another one from Anker that doesn't fold as neatly. That's $26. So
yeah, and you could even do like my wife took it was just a one of the little wall warts, but not like the Apple ones. It actually has 2 ports in it. And she doesn't have an Apple Watch, but she was able to, charge her phone and, like the iPad or something with that, and just have 2 lightning cables come out of it. So
Yeah.
I don't think I can recommend the Apple MagSafe Duo charger, because it is just really expensive. And if you need to save, like if you're looking to save square inches in your packing, you might want that. But if you've got room, go for something else.
Yeah. And last thing on the Anker one, it looks like you coil your Apple Watch charger on the bottom side of this and plug it into the bottom, so that you do just have one cable coming out to the AC outlet. So I would recommend something like this highly, and I will probably decide on one of these 3 variations and purchase one.
Very nice.
Because my bedside is a mess.
Yes. Well, and speaking of vacation, my dear daughter Isla is quite outgoing, which she gets from her father, and hanging out at the swim pool. She made many friends over the course of the time that we were there.
Have you met her father?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. But one of the friends that we ended up spending a lot of time with, Abigail, who lives, not your daughter.
Yeah.
Another Abigail who lives down in California, and we connected, and FaceTime came up. So yesterday, after returning from our trip, we were able to talk on FaceTime, and we were sitting there, and it looked like her mom was holding whatever device she was on while they were talking. And then I realized, wait, her mom's not holding this anymore, but the device keeps like focusing on the TV in the background and the people on the TV. Well, I realized she must have been on a newer iPad, and it was using the center stage feature. And so instead of just focusing on Abigail, it would pick up the faces on the TV and start rotating the image on the webcam over to the TV. So once I got that figured out, I was like, okay, that's what's happening on that. But
that's funny that it doesn't detect whether it's a live person, but any picture of a person will work.
Yes. You would think with the Face ID it could find if there was depth or not, or just somebody on the TV talking. Yeah,
they don't make use of that depth information very often in their cameras. I'm a little disappointed in Apple and how they do that.
Yes. Well, speaking of depth, the Twitter Elon Musk saga continues, and I found one article from Bloomberg where they want me to pay to see the rest of the article, but the headline, Twitter says Musk deal uncertainty could cost staff advertisers. And basically what I saw, the little snippet of it is, and I can kind of see as the article fades out before I pay for it, it says, Twitter said it may be difficult to attract and retain key people, and mentioned the possibility that our current employees could be distracted and their productivity decline as a result due to uncertainty regarding the merger, the company said in a regulatory filing that they made.
Yeah, I can see more of the article because I just clicked the little reader view. And yeah. So basically, this is one of those articles. People are saying there's uncertainty. There's like not one fact in this article.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yes, there are probably some people that work for Twitter that don't like who Elon Musk is, but there are probably other people that would like to work for Elon Musk.
And let's be honest, it can't be any worse than it is. I mean,
I know
the board of directors doesn't support the company. Yeah, people hate working there. They're broken. It's like,
yeah, I saw somebody commenting on the fact that there was, I think, an article saying, you know, as many as 1,000 employees could leave Twitter over this, and it's like they've got over 1,000 employees. Like, what are these people doing?
I don't know what they do. Are they just moderating stuff? Because they haven't developed any new software for any.
And again, I will stick with my thing. Hey, Elon Musk, let's give him a chance. He's kind of done some good things with Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah.
He seems to be a pretty smart guy. I know there's a lot of concerns about what he's going to allow on the platform, and but again, it's like, is it going to be worse?
I don't think it'll be worse.
No.
You'd have to really try to make it worse.
Yes. Well, speaking of worse, this is going to be the segue every article episode from the Wall Street Journal. NFTs are flatlining.
What? Who could have predicted that?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, us like 20 times.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So the article starts off, the NFT market is collapsing. The sales of non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, fell to a daily average of about 19,000 this week, a 92% decline from a peak of about 225,000 in September.
That's going to sting a little.
Yes, the number of active wallets in the NFT market fell 88%. Since November, and I just don't.
Could it be that one guy who tried to sell his stock or his NFT that he bought, the first
the Jack Dorsey
tweet was basically nobody wanted to give him any money for it.
yes, and they also could be very related to crypto prices are not doing very well right now.
Well, and the funny thing about the crypto prices is that it's right in line with the stock market and the Fed. And the whole idea of this cryptocurrency was so that it would be separate and not relied on those markets, which is funny that it's completely in parallel with them, which is not great because you and I both own crypto.
Yes.
And it's been a while since it's been this low.
Yes, indeed. And but it is all perspective. Like looking at the Bitcoin price, you look at the 3 month and you're like, oh, this is horrible. But then you look at like the 1 year and it's like, oh, it's about the same as it was a year ago. It's just been a lot of highs and lows in the crypto world. And most cryptocurrencies do directly correlate with Bitcoin. So it's an interesting thing that we will continue to keep an eye on.
If you invest in crypto or the stock market, the advice is don't keep too close an eye on it. Just let it go.
Be in it for the long term.
Yep.
Well, speaking of a long-term conversation point for our podcast, TurboTax owner Intuit to pay $141 million to customers unfairly charged.
I get so upset anytime we talk about taxes because TurboTax / Intuit, who has purchased and bought up every single mom and pop tax software, continually lobbies Congress to make the tax code complicated and the tax filing process complicated so that they can reap all the benefits. It's basically just one company. I forgot about H&R Block. But are they owned by Intuit now? Who knows? But it could be simple. The government knows how much you make. They could send you a statement, and all you have to do is sign it and add any other extra things and send it back.
I think it was I think it's Finland, where they literally send you a postcard and say, "This is what we think you made. If correct, sign and send back. If not, things might be a little more complicated." Now, I did see they have agreed to pay $141 million in restitution to 4.4 million low-income customers who were charged for using the TurboTax free edition, according to the announcement. So I did the math. 141 million divided by 4.4 million equals $32.05 if they round up to each customer. So,
and
there you go.
I was using Credit Karma Tax, which was purchased by Intuit / TurboTax last year.
Yes.
Which has either been spun off or resold to Cash App, but Cash App may also be owned by Intuit. I don't know. It made filing my taxes very complicated this year because I had to launch the Cash App every time I wanted to log in to the website.
Yes.
So next year, guess what's going to happen, Nate? A professional is going to do it for me.
Yeah, maybe it's all these small professionals that are really behind this to make you so frustrated that you just pay them to do it.
Maybe so. They're all in league so that we have to use the professional people.
Yes. Well, in other professional talk, Wyze, with their new product of the week this spring, and I'm actually excited about this one. I think I'm going to purchase one.
I think I'm going to also.
Yeah, the Wyze room sensor. So this works, and it says very clearly, only compatible with the Wyze thermostat, which we both have in our homes. But what this allows you to do, they have a 1-pack for $25 or a 3-pack for $70, or you can get the 3-pack and the thermostat for $138. Saving a couple pennies on each of those. But this allows you to put one of these room sensors in different rooms away from your thermostat so that you can balance your home's climate, as they say.
Well, I was talking with a friend today about this, good friend Monty, and he had a weather station that he's building with individual sensors and Adrenos and pocket computers and fancy antennas. Who knows what all the stuff it is. And I said, you know what I'm going to do is just going to buy one of these $25 sensors that does the same thing. And he thought that was not as fun. However, in our house, we have forced air heating. And my question was, if I put one upstairs and one downstairs and they both talk to the thermostat, how's it going to regulate the temperature? You know what I mean?
My understanding is that you can either prioritize or average, because yes, I only have one system in my house. It's not a multiple, but it does say balance your home's climate. So like our thermostat is upstairs, which is going to be warmer than downstairs. So then it's going to try to keep it much cooler, but it might already be cooler downstairs.
Yeah. And I also learned that I have to look. I've lived in this house like 15 or 16 years, and I said, upstairs, like the furnace blast is so hard and fast, and downstairs it's less, but it gets really hot upstairs because heat rises. I wish that I could control the amount of air that goes various places. And he says, well, don't you have inline dampeners in all of your tubing and stuff? And I was like, no, I don't think so. But it made me want to purchase one. I went on homedepot.com, and I think I'm going to put an inline dampener for the upper level and then have the full air come on the lower level. So something like this, I don't know if it can control dampeners or what. Who knows?
And it does says it has motion sensing comforts. When motion sensing comfort mode is enabled, Wyze Room Sensor uses motion detection to prioritize only the rooms you're actually using. So that would be good. If you're only downstairs during the day, then it could focus on that and controlling that temperature or rooms that you aren't using necessarily. So
So interesting. But yeah, I think I will pick at least one up because it'd be nice to know what the temperature is upstairs.
Yes.
Because we don't have a thermostat up there. So.
Yes. Well, we will report back on that. And you will report back on Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
And as we move into this, I just had an idea. You should buy the 3-pack and give me one of them.
Oh, genius.
It's a win-lose proposition.
Yes. Well, we like those.
Yeah. So for Dave's Pro Tip of the Week, like I said last week, I have a list of these, and this is kind of a two-parter. And we've talked about the camera setting on the iPhone before, but it's become a little complicated, and the controls and settings are spread so far out among different places that I think it's worth revisiting. And the topic today is camera bursts. This isn't where you're taking a picture and you drop your phone on the cement and it bursts into 100 million pieces.
Oh, bummer.
This is where you would want to hold the shutter button down and it would take multiple photos at a blazing speed. Perhaps there's a child jumping off a swing. Perhaps there's a sports person running hurdles. You can do the quick shot and get 100 shots. Well, Apple made some changes over the years regarding this. You used to be able to just hold down your shutter button, your digital shutter button on your phone screen, and it would do burst photos. Now when you do that, it takes a video clip.
Oh, yes.
So you can enable, if you go into your settings on your phone, and then you scroll down about halfway down to the camera setting, there's a toggle that will allow you to turn on burst mode if you pressed the volume up button while you're in camera mode, right?
Yes.
So, so that is one way to do it. However, I recently remembered this old tip. If you don't like to figure out how to hold your phone and press the up button without putting your hand in front of the lens and dropping it and all that crazy stuff, simply, now get this, Nate, if you want to do a burst, simply press and hold the digital shutter button and drag it up or down, and it will burst if you slide the button. And I'm going to try it just to double check that it works both directions. Actually, you have to slide it down. I stand corrected. So if you slide it down, it'll do bursts. If you tap and hold, it'll do video. And if you slide up, it will do video. Now, if you do have your tap to volume up shutter burst mode, if you press and hold the down volume button, it will record video.
Oh.
So, and if you just tap it once, it will also take video. So the volume up, if that button is switched in the settings, is burst. Volume up and hold will do burst photos. Volume down and hold will do video on the volume buttons. And if you're on the digital button, swiping down will do burst. Tapping and holding or swiping up will take a short video. Well, I guess a video as long as you hold the button.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people were complaining, I saw online, that when you're in camera mode and you swipe up to take the video, and actually swiping up locks it into video mode.
Yes,
you don't have to hold it any longer. That it takes the 4:3 video. It doesn't change it to 16:9. So that's something to consider. When you're in video mode, you're in 16:9 unless you change the orientation of it, but you're in 16:9 mode. But photos are classically in 4:3 mode. So that's something to consider.
Nice. Yes, I use the volume up burst. I use it several times this last week while Isla and Abigail were doing what they call cannonballs off the side of the pool, trying to capture that perfect moment, which I did capture a couple of good ones.
Cool.
But I did not know the volume down to do video too. So when you're quickly trying to switch between all the different things, that is a great tip.
And I'm a digital button guy, and so the sliding down to do the burst is going to change the way I do things, because I'm usually trying to fumble and hold the volume, and I don't want to use two hands. I want to use one hand to do my photos, because man, I'm guerrilla photo taking. I'm jumping over stuff. I'm rolling on the ground. I got to have that other hand to like grab on a tree branch or whatever.
Yeah, hardcore parkour.
Hardcore parkour. That's what they call me, hardcore parkour Dave.
Yeah, they often do.
Yeah, rolls right off the tongue.
Well, on to our takes of the week. And this first one you should be a fan of, from the Mac Observer. Facebook to discontinue location-based features like nearby friends. Now, I will caveat this with they're probably not going to stop tracking all of your location stuff, but they're going to make it less available to you as a user.
Yeah, so like most things with Facebook, it sounds good on the surface, but you gain, as a user, you gain nothing, and you usually lose things. So you lose transparency and you lose abilities, but of course Facebook retains everything and gathers more information than before. So
yes, and the two subheadlines in this article are two sections. The first one, no more sharing your current location with Facebook nearby friends, which is kind of like where you can share in Find My on Apple devices. And then the second one is, don't think this means Facebook doesn't track your locations.
yeah,
so
exactly.
there we go on that. And also some other Facebook news. Facebook is pulling the plug on their podcast business. And now this is something they rolled out about a year ago. And we were added to it at some point. And I turned it on for Not Nerd. So actually every week, if you follow Not Nerd, you probably see two posts. There's the one that comes through the website with a link to the website post, but there's also the default Facebook podcast where you can listen to it right in Facebook, which I have never done for another podcast. Now, I realize I'm an odd podcast user. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I do everything through the app. I am very I'm the hardcore parkour user of podcasts,
So to speak.
so to speak. But yeah, so they're turning this off, and I heard Rich on Tech, he was talking about this, and he was a little bummed because he had gotten, I mean, he's on KTLA, so he does, local news tech segments in Los Angeles, and he said that with all of his Facebook followers, he would get a ton of podcast listens, but he has noticed that Facebook and therefore Instagram are really focused on the Reels, which is their competitor with TikTok. So he said that now whenever he does a Reel, he gets a ton of views on that compared to, a while back they were promoting the podcasts, so he'd get a ton of listens on that. So
I don't get any of that Reels or tweets or Turks or Dirks or
truths.
I just want to post a little message.
Yeah.
I don't want to get fancy. I don't want it to disappear after time. I don't want it to
so
be in
that
a
is the nice thing with Reels. I never got into the stories or the Snapchat where it disappeared after 24 hours. The Reels and the TikToks, they stay up there. I like the permanence. I don't like the temporary. It's like if I take the time to do something, I want it to be there instead of disappearing and then nobody sees it. So I do like the Reels more than the stories, and I think that's the direction things are going.
Well, it's going to get real here pretty quick.
Yes, and things are getting real exciting with Microsoft Excel, especially if you play EVE Online. This headline, EVE Online fans literally cheer Microsoft Excel features at annual Fan Fest.
Now, is this like a Christian game about creation with Adam and Eve, or what is this exactly?
I don't believe so. I believe, based on the picture, that it is some sort of space game where you shoot a lot of things.
It is. It's more complicated than that. And the integration with Excel is that you can export directly all of your game stats, and if you're going to be doing a mission that costs this much health and you get this much gain and all these things, you can use your charts and tables to do statistics, make charts to see how things are trending. So the people who really love this type of game where they can really dig into the stats, it's not unlike baseball fans, right? They want to get every last piece of data so that they can leverage it and learn about it. It's available now. People before had to find a way to export that data and put it into Excel, and now they can just link it right up and it's right there. It's probably been years in the coming.
Yes, it's some sort of JavaScript API. So if you're an EVE Online player, please let us know how you're using Microsoft Excel. We will have you on the show to discuss this integration.
And speaking of JavaScript, today I watched an online course on JavaScript. I'm going to learn JavaScript.
Whoa.
Maybe I'll make a Not Nerd app or something.
Yeah. I want Not Nerd YouTube videos on our channel of you learning JavaScript.
Well, it's just going to be me watching YouTube channels. So
hey,
it's going to be like
you can do commentary on it.
YouTube Inception.
People watch gamers. They want to watch JavaScript learners.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I learned a lot just it was a 1 hour video and I had it on 1.75x so that I could watch it much quicker.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of gaming, Fortnite, that we have not talked about for quite a while because it has not been available on iOS, but Fortnite now free to play on Xbox Cloud Gaming. So this is Microsoft's cloud gaming solution, and Fortnite is going to be free to play on mobile, desktop, and console. So any of your devices, you'll be able to play Fortnite.
Now, it was unclear to me because I didn't have time to read the article. Do you still have to be a subscriber to Xbox Cloud Gaming? Because that's already available. I feel like I've already played it on there, but maybe you don't have to pay anything. It's a free game through the Xbox Cloud?
Yeah, I did go to look at the Xbox Cloud Gaming, and it looked like I had to create an account, and it wanted me to subscribe. But it sounds like maybe that they're rolling this out.
Yeah. I mean, it says here in the article, Microsoft struck a deal with Epic Games to offer Epic's hit title Fortnite for free through Xbox Cloud Gaming. Well, it's already a free title. So
yeah.
I will say that I played it on NVIDIA's GeForce Now on my devices. So maybe it was previously unavailable on Xbox and now it's going to be there. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Well, into our security and privacy stories, the FBI came out with a report, and they said that the amount of money lost to business email compromise, BEC scams, continues to grow each year, with a 65% increase in the identified global exposed losses between July 2019 and December 2021. They said that there was 43 billion with a B dollars in scams through business emails. Now, I have worked to train my clients on this some. There is actually services you can sign up to help train employees on looking out for business scams. But I do have, it's been one of my clients that has gotten some somewhat convincing emails recently saying, oh, can you change my direct deposit to this account, or things like that. Now, everyone that I've seen, the dead giveaway is you looked at the from email address. The from name might be the right name, but the email address is some random Gmail or whatever it is. It's not the actual person.
Well,
so that's a pro tip to watch out for on these.
And one of the hard parts about that is when you, for instance, use Gmail through the web, is it doesn't show you
until you click in. Well, you got to pay attention.
It's like, to make it easy, they're just like, oh, we're just going to show you the name, but you have to do extra steps to see the header of the email, which would contain the email address. It's not always evident. So maybe they need to make a switch that says always show email from email address or something like that.
Yeah, that would be good. So be aware of that. That's a lot of money. You wonder why these people do this? 43 billion reasons why they do this right there.
Yeah.
And another one that I saw, the FAFSA form, which I'm sure with college age or near college age children, Dave, that you have filled out a FAFSA form or two.
I have.
But they had, for some reason that I cannot understand, installed the Facebook Pixel into the FAFSA form, so the information from the FAFSA form was being passed over to Facebook.
And this seems like, since it's a government agency that's facilitating this, that this would be highly illegal.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's any world where a government site collects my information and sends it to a private entity. And if they are, I want to be compensated for it. Because they're obviously selling that data to somebody. Yeah,
so it's through the studentaid.gov, and it was part of an advertising campaign that they installed it so they could track things. Again, why they need to advertise the FAFSA form is
there's
beyond
only
me.
one thing. It's not like there's competition.
Yeah. So shame on you, U.S. government.
Yeah.
For installing, or whoever runs, whichever part of the government runs studenta.gov.
This is the only thing you've ever done wrong that we're mad about.
Yes. As the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet, we finally found something to be upset with the government about. But yeah, that's and again, the fact that it sounds like my taxpayer dollars were used to advertise and market the FAFSA form
and give that information and potential money to Facebook.
Well, let us cleanse our palate with another lovely post from kotkey.org, who went down a rabbit trail of some extreme pogo stick riding. So he has a few videos here of extreme pogo stick riders. Now, I could barely ever do a pogo stick, not extremely, but some of these guys, I watched some of these videos, and I mean, the athleticism that exists in this world is mind-boggling.
I could probably fall off of one pretty extreme and hurt myself extremely bad, but that's about it. Yeah.
Yes.
The pogo sticks themselves are cool because they've got like smoke coming off of them, and there's one with fire. It's just crazy.
It is pretty impressive. So if you need some fun videos to watch, click on that link in the show notes. And if you need some good tech in your life, check out our picks of the week.
Man, I think my pick is those extreme videos. I can't stop watching them. I'm like, how are they going to make that? Oh, because they're incredibly talented. That's how.
Yeah.
So this week this is kind of one of the more dumber picks. Is that even right?
Dumber.
English? More dumber.
Yes.
It is speaking of Anker, the Anker magnetic phone grip MagGo 610 magnetic phone ring holder adjustable kickstand, only for iPhone 13, 13 Pro, 13 Mini, 13 Pro. Basically anything with a MagSafe. That's what it's for. And the color is Interstellar gray, of course. So you may say that title tells me absolutely nothing. Well, this is a circular disc with a hole in it that snaps right onto your MagSafe case or your MagSafe phone, or I suppose you could stick it on a MagSafe accessory. It's not going to do much. And then there is a little ring that swivels out of the middle, and it is a multifunctional ring. I can put my finger through the ring, much like a pop socket, and hold my phone so that it doesn't fall out of my hands easily. Maybe this is good for when I'm doing photography. I can make a little make a little
give you some stability there.
Stability to hold on to my phone in a better way. What I purchased it for was you can also set your little ring at an angle, and it's stiff enough that you can set your phone either in horizontal or vertical mode on your desk and have somewhat of a little stand if you're watching a video or something. Formally, you know, I'll take lunch and I'll go in and just sit at the counter and eat my lunch, and I'm sitting looking straight down at my phone because I don't have a stand or anything like that. Well, now with this little ring, I can just prop it up at a nice little 45-degree angle and watch my content and be happy and snug as a bug in a rug while I consume my content and my food. So I forgot the price of this. Do you want to wager to guess, or have you already
I will not guess because I bought this about 10 seconds into you talking about it. And it was 20% off of $19.90 for $15.99. Now, a couple months ago, I picked the MagSafe pop socket that I had purchased.
Have you used
but
that?
I think this is a much more... I do use that at times, not all the time. I don't keep it on my phone because it is a little bulky. And this, I think, is an upgrade. So if any of you listeners are interested in a MagSafe pop socket, I might give you a great deal on that to help recuperate my costs on this one here, because the MagGo, I think this is going to be real nice, and it's so small, and with MagSafe it's not permanently attached. It's not part of the case. You can pop it off, put it in your pocket. If you don't want it on there, put it right back on. I am excited that I will be receiving this tomorrow via Amazon.
The only problem that I have found is that I will take it off to put it on my MagSafe holder in my car.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a charger also. And then I'll take my phone and go away, and I'll leave my little ring in the car. And I'm like, so then when I do remember to bring it, at both my desk at home and my desk at work, I have a little Anker. They're not MagSafe. They predate MagSafe, but this little thing you set your phone on to charge. So I am taking it on and off more often than I probably should. But if I wasn't as concerned about topping my phone's charge off, and in fact, one of the reasons I have those charging stands is so the phone is upright. But with this this key ring thing,
you don't even necessarily need that as much.
I don't need it as much. So it's a very nice deal. And it comes in multiple colors. Let's see. Interstellar gray, dolomite white, lilac purple, and misty blue.
Very nice. And I have purchased. Well, my pick of the week, this is one that we actually teased and gave no real tease like months ago on the podcast, so nobody even remembers that we mentioned it, but Dave and I do, and I think we're both using it today.
We are.
And it's part of previous pick of the week, Setapp, which is a subscription for Mac apps, which I firmly believe if you own a Mac computer, Setapp is a great investment, and one of the apps available on there, or you can purchase it separately, and this only came out, I think, a few months ago, or I became aware of it. It's called Detail. And what it is, I'm actually using it right now, and Dave, since our listeners won't be able to tell, I'm going to, I am switching between 3 different cameras with the click of a button.
Dang.
I've got my built-in FaceTime camera here, I've got my iPad set up on my desk, and I've got my iPhone on connected to maybe a future pick of the week, so I can give you 3 different camera angles with the click of a button. I can also switch. So what it is, it's very much like OBS, which we actually use to do backup audio recordings, our local recordings of the podcast. But it is a very simple way that you can set up multiple scenes for your webcam, and then you can use different camera sources to do that. So I've got a little slide. One of the default ones is, a nice colorful background with Be Right there. And then you can do all kinds of, so if you were doing presentations or video calls, I don't know how many people are going to use multiple camera angles.
And I got to tell you, your iPhone side view is stunning.
Yes,
it
yes,
looks
that is
great.
Yes, the iPhone 13 Pro is a nice device, if you did not know that.
I mean, it's great.
But it's got a lot of features in there. They've added new stuff. You can add, background images. You can put images in the foreground. So if you had something you wanted to kind of present, you could put it as a little picture-in-picture in there. It has camera tracking, so I think it'll actually track my face, kind of like the center stage. It'll do the blurring. But it's a real nice way, real simple way to use like an iPhone or another device as your camera, and then be able to switch between things. You can live stream through it. You can record. You can do all kinds of things. And I've been really impressed with it. So you either purchase it on your computer or get it through Setapp. And then there's a free app on your phone that you open up. It connects magically and works really great.
So it is basically OBS, but way easier to use. In typical Mac parlance, it is OBS for the rest of us.
Yes. Because as we know, before we get started recording every episode, OBS can be very convoluted and it's very complex. It's a great open source application, but
it's got everything and the kitchen sink in it. Whereas Detail is a very simple app and easy to use. So check out Detail. I'll let you know what I think of my MagGo from Anker next week. And I think with that, we will wrap up this episode. We have talked tech at you long enough. There was a lot of stuff to cover this week, but we want to go over it. We want to help you so that you can get out there and tech better.
Okay, we all go together or we go one at a time.
Here it is. Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the palace, backflip gainer into the trash can.
Yeah, gainer! Yeah!
Parkour, parkour!
Parkour!
I'm right behind you, Andy! Come on!
Do it! Yeah!
Parkour.